back to another vlog. This is Heart Catch Pretty Cure, episodes 23 and 24. Cure Sunshine is Born and Crisis at the Great Heart Tree. As I talked about last time, these are commissioned vlogs for Bennett Jackson. They're not the whole series. I've been specifically asked to look at certain episodes comprising an arc about, clearly now, Itsuki becoming Cure Sunshine. So I watched episodes 7 and 11 or 13, I forget which, last time, which were establishing Itsuki as a girl who presents very masculine at school and with her family, but actually has a real love for feminine things that she's struggling with, how that fits into her identity. These episodes then focus on her becoming Cure Sunshine, the new member of the Pretty Cure team. Like I talked about last time, these are complicated episodes. Problematic even. Not in the sense of the Tumblr kind of pop culture-y sense of, you know, you're a bigot, but I'm avoiding the word bigot. That problematic is taken on, but I mean like the technical meaning of problematic. They present problems. They are complicated to work through and to think about. They're not completely straightforward. You can't just say, oh, okay, that's good. Oh, no. You know, there's possibilities and multiple readings to deal with. And in particular, I have very complicated feelings about Itsuki. On the one hand, I actually surprised myself by getting really emotional the first time her transformation sequence was shown. She just looked so happy to be in a frilly dress and have long twin tails and just going from her usual very masculine presentation to a hyper-feminine one. And, you know, if I could, had a spray that would, transform me into this cute, hyper-feminine girl with this incredibly cute outfit, like, hell yeah, I would be happy. Which is not to say that I'm not happy with how I am. I am. And that's the thing, is that's transformation. That's what transition has been for me. From a masculine form that I hated to being able to express who I really am and reflect that in how I look. It's not simply that I want to look different or that looking different makes me someone else. It's the opportunity to express something that I kept buried so deep for so long. To let that out into the sunshine is a very powerful experience. And so in that moment, I feel a deep connection with Itsuki, and I got emotional about it. At the same time, Itsuki is not a trans girl. Itsuki is a gender non-conforming girl And her transformation is about her becoming hyperfeminine, which is to say, becoming gender conforming, which is a lot less positive of a read. It's kind of essentialist. And I talked about this last time, that kind of the two competing ways of reading Itsuki are kind of this gender non-conforming, there's the trans metaphor read, which makes me very happy, but there's also the way of reading her where she's a gender non-conforming girl that is written as, that non-conforming is for her conforming. And that releasing her true self and embracing who she really is requires being more feminine, which for some girls I'm sure is true. But it still ultimately comes down to, given the absence of any other characters, at least in the episodes I've seen, who are, gender non-conforming girls positively portrayed, it does feel a little bit like she's being pulled by the writers into a more conforming position and then rewarded for it. And of course the last option is that is to read Itsuki as metaphorically a trans boy, which, to me, I feel like that's the weakest reading, which is why I use feminine pronouns for Itsuki throughout. But reading Itsuki as a trans boy is essentially a worse version of the gender non-conforming read, where the show is saying that being a trans boy is suppressing her true girlhood, and if she just embraced femininity, she wouldn't feel the need to be a trans boy, which is, an extremely transphobic take on the psychology of trans people, and it's one that's out there. It's one that you see. So it's like there's these competing reads, and they've all got their pros and cons, but ultimately I feel like the one that's most supported is the second one. But we can dig a little deeper in that one and kind of redeem it a little bit, because Itsuki, Itsuki is still a great fighter, who wants to protect people, who uses sort of masculine-leaning pronouns. Pronouns in Japanese are really complicated and I don't understand them very well, but I did pick up that Itsuki uses boku, which is more typically used by men. Puts her to a whole class of characters, to the point there's a name for them, bokugo, of girls who are a little bit more masculine in their presentation. I'd have to actually pull out my Utena to be certain, but I'm pretty sure Utena uses boku as well. So, she's in good company there. And, she reminds me a little bit of that insistence by Utena, that Utena wears a boy's uniform and she's going to be a prince, but she's still a girl. And I feel like that's the thing with Itsuki, is she's not a stereotypical girl, but she has gone very far in the opposite direction, and to the point of being not happy. that she feels she has to reject all things feminine to maintain kind of her image, the identity she's constructed for herself, but for others. But in truth, it's not really what she wants to be. What she wants to be is both. Both the feminine, girly girl, Pure Sunshine, and serious, masculine presenting, fighter, student president, Itsuki. And she can be. And that, I think, is the positive takeaway, the redemptive read. That she can be both. That you can be both. That anybody can be basically anything when it comes to gender. Whatever you are, whoever you are, that's who you are. And it is non-negotiable, and other people just need to deal with it. Regardless of what your identity is, what your presentation is, other people need to accept that it is what it is and move from there. Now, of course, not everything a person does is gender presentation. You know, if you're going around punching people in the face, that's not gender presentation. That's just you being a jerk. Unless they're Nazis. Punch more Nazis. Assuming you can safely do so. The thing that... I mean, it's a complicated question of what exactly comprises gender presentation and so on and so forth, but the point is, Itsuki complicates it more than is typical for anime characters, and especially characters in anime that are aimed at younger audiences. And that's a good thing. That kind of complexity should be shown more. And I'm happy to see it. And yeah. That I can also read into it, you know, my own background, my own struggles with gender identity is a bonus. And one that makes me happy. So in the end, I'm very glad I watched this little arc. I don't know that I would watch the rest of the series. I looked it up and it's 48 or 49 episodes, and that seems like a lot for kind of a thin on the ground premise. But you know, I did enjoy this arc, and it was, when it comes down to it, well executed. So yeah, I think that's about it. Hope y'all enjoyed that. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Patreon for early access to vlogs, essays, let's plays, and more. And I'll see you all next time. Bye!